One of the first things we learned in integrated science class as kids was that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. It was not quite clear if it was down to the fabled resilience of the Nigerian or an overextended euphoria brought about by the promise of a return to democracy in 1999. But looking back, it appears it took a good while for our water to hit boiling point. As our elders would say, now when person wake up, be morning. The events leading up to the March and April 2010 protests that birthed EiE cranked up the heat on the polity and left the collective of Chude Judonwu and Adebola Williams, young, articulate, boisterous Nigerians with unwavering belief in the Nigerian project, with no other choice but to champion organized response and affirmative action. Deploying dandy dose of cool communication, dogged determination, and soft power, aka celebrity and influencer juice, the duo working to organize the protest that fearlessly spoke truth to power and announced that indeed enough is enough.
So in January 2010, the Future Project hosts the annual Future Awards. The keynote speaker was Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. And at the time, she made mention of the fact that the demographics of Nigeria favored young people, and that young people should basically take their position in determining what happens in Nigeria. Fast forward to February of that year, Chude Judonwu wrote an email titled, "Where is the outrage?" And the content of the email was basically saying, when would young people use their voices so that the likes of Wole Soyinka and Tunde Bakare will not be the ones protesting on behalf of a future that they have less invested in and we have more to lose. Because at that time, Save Nigeria group had started and they'd already had a protest in Abuja, I believe. And one of the banners they had at the time actually was "Enough is enough." So the protest was organized and was set for March 16 in Abuja. And the idea was to march to the National Assembly. And there were three main things. President Yar'Adua, at that time, we weren't sure if he was dead or alive. There was fuel scarcity, and there were killings in Jos that now pales in comparison to what is happening in Nigeria now. A friend of mine, Bisola Edu, who is a current member of the board of EiE, invited me to the protest. I'd just finished my MBA, was back in Nigeria, and it sounded like fun. Going to Abuja to protest and have a good time with friends. Protest happened in Abuja March 16, was followed by a protest in Lagos on April 13, and this is all in 2010.
Shortly after the dust of the debut protest settled, the fledgling civil society group was back in the grind, prepping for the grandmother of all modern-day protests, #Occupy Nigeria.
It is not about subsidy. There can be no transformation without sacrifice. They are now willing to sacrifice anything for this nation.
Rumors around a proposed fuel price increase. We had a meeting and started strategizing about a response to that. I did some research around what the issues were and what the concerns were. We sent a letter to the then Minister of Finance, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, requesting for a meeting to have a conversation with young people around why it was proposed to remove subsidy and what the plan was from the federal government. A town hall was held, I believe, later that year as well, just talking about the issues. A clip for that has become now very popular around what the mathematics of continuing with the fuel subsidy is. Everybody woke up January 1st to the news that fuel subsidy had been removed. And because we had had the meetings and we were prepared, we could basically immediately kick into action. And we focused on two main things, really: information. So we presented the information in a way that was easy for people to access, and basically showing before subsidy, this is what the price of goods, general goods are. And once it's been removed, this is what it will become. And when Pastor Tunde and Save Nigeria started hosting the Ojota Protest, we participated in that.
Time has come for the people of Nigeria to rise and say, enough, enough, enough.
And in addition to mobilizing people, we were very strong online in sharing information. So not just in Lagos, but we became a hub for people across the country who were then doing similar protests, letting us know when their protests will be, where they're meeting, where they're going, sharing pictures, sharing information, documenting, not just in Nigeria, but across the world, where Nigerians were holding similar protests. because they were happening in Germany, Switzerland, London, New York, DC, all across the globe. Nigerians were protesting on the same issue. And that was our particular role.
Next up was the hashtag #OurNAS protest of 2013, which led to the hashtag #OpenNAS campaign.
Want the breakdown, then you will come and get the breakdown. Who did you ask? And I'm telling you today, if you want my salary, I have my pay slips and I will give it to you. There is no problem there. Hello,
Yes, so my people, the free open NAS hotline powered by over 10,000 petition signatures. We have achieved goal 1, and a breakdown of the National Assembly's budget is now public for the first time in 7 years. This shows the power you have to change things as a citizen. The purpose of this hotline is to create a community of Nigerian citizens who want to help strengthen our democracy and improve the services that our government provides for us. We believe that our elected officials from all parties must work for citizens and for Nigeria. Now we give them the job to do now, so they must do them. So this hotline provides information on governance and a quiz with a chance to win a 2,000 naira recharge card every month if you answer the questions correctly. Never stop being an active citizen, because at the way be that. One love, my people.
In an age where digital and social media are the dominant channels of engaging the youth, New Media Savvy EiE has taken full advantage of new media to connect with the primary target demography.
Is a central plank for us for reaching new constituencies, for bringing new ideas and ways of working, and trying to connect government to the citizens.
This year, with the support of SACE, we did a couple of things actually. So our first session focused on active citizenship and basically just looking at how citizens engage. How can they use technology to engage, success stories, challenges, and how to overcome them.
In the past, communication was one way, specifically from government to citizens. Citizens had no opportunity to engage, had no opportunity to talk back, no opportunity to even question or decide or discuss what was happening. Now they have complete interaction.
We say that EiE leverages technology. So technology includes new media, and our audience are people primarily with access, who are literate to technology, as we like to say. New media has aided our work because new media, for the most part, is unfiltered, it's easily accessible, and it's cheaper compared to print media or radio. Over the years, what we've said very simply is that people that we have access to through new media, we say they're like a thumb. Your thumb is your only finger that can touch your other 4 fingers very easily. Your other fingers will struggle. They can touch them, but they would struggle. But your thumb can touch them very easily. So we say that people who have access to our information are like thumbs. So whatever you get online, what you can read in the newspapers, what you can find in books, considering that a significant percentage of our population is illiterate, which just means they are unable to read. Whatever you find, access information you have access to, take it as a thumb and then share it with 4 other people. And so the 4 people can be your siblings, they can be people you work with, they can be people in your neighborhood. But the idea is that if one person shares with another 4, and those 5 then share with 4 other people each, and those then share with 4 other people each, the exponential impact will be huge. And that's how we use new media to educate and share information.
EiE is the only organization that has hosted conversations on citizens, governance, and technology at all 6 editions of the Social Media Week Lagos. Guests include Omobaba Johnson, former Minister of Communication 2013 to 2015, Malam Nasir El Rufai, Kaduna State Governor 2017, and Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, INEC Chairman 2018.
I want you to recognize that most people above the age of 50 find confronting technology quite difficult.
Up next was the New Media and Governance Conference, a conference on the interconnectivity between new media, citizens, and governance. Co-hosted in 2012 with the Yaradua Foundation, co-hosted in 2016 with Budget and Paradigm Initiative Nigeria. EiE also organized engagements on internal party politics and selecting candidates. Right after recording another resounding success with a conversation on party politics, EiE delivered a series of electricity town hall meetings. These are interactions with citizens on how to resolve issues around estimated billing and other power problems.
Bundling of PHCN, we decided to help citizens navigate the challenges of getting power. And a big one was metering. Very simply, metering allows you to only pay for what you use. Estimated billing doesn't do that. And it's a consistent complaint that because estimated billing allows the discos to charge more, there is not an incentive to meter Nigerians. So Nigerians are struggling to get meters, people are having to pay to get meters, which should technically be free. So we're basically just doing town hall meetings in different communities and letting them know what their rights are, how to go about getting meters, how to complain, what the complaint mechanisms are. And a particularly good one is the Ararami community, which basically decided not to pay their bills until they got meters. And they complained to Ikeja Disco. They came on our radio show. And while they were on our radio show, Ikeja Disco then reached out to them and had a meeting around adjusting their bills and metering the community. So that's a great example of citizens taking action and following through. And well, they're not a government agency in this case, but an organization responding and engaging them.
2 Ikeja Disco Town Hall meetings, Ibadan Disco Town Hall meeting, and a live town hall meeting on Channels TV with Minister of Power, Works and Housing and stakeholders were organized.
Power is produced on an ongoing and continuous basis. And therefore, whether you are an individual consumer, whether you are a government department, billing and settlement of bills are an ongoing and continuing reality of the industry.
EiE, working with partners all over Nigeria, organized the One Voice Nigeria rallies in February 2017 and February 2018. The first was a nationwide protest, while the second rally focused on voters' mobilization.
I stand with Nigeria. One Voice Nigeria. I stand with Nigeria. And they tell people something there. Some people they tell me on social media. Then because they will not see money spent. Say we collect money from the government way pass. And they tell them I don't know Jonathan. I don't care who Jonathan be. I don't care who Buhari be. I don't here because of Buhari. You understand me? And they hear about the governance for this nation. Both tell ourselves the truth. Everybody for this nation I need the government of himself. Yes, sir. Don't be you that provide water for yourself. Don't be you that give yourself light. Only in Nigeria now you will see where person will get 3 generators. So backup generator. Yes,
and we want 100,000 people, get at least 10 people each to register to vote.
If not 1,000 people come, they feel they do on sharp. Register all of them, sharp.
And of course, there has been a series of election debates which are organized to help citizens select credible candidates that they want to vote for.
Your company, yes, AfriInvest, facilitated the 30 billion water storm funding from the capital market and the $225 million from the World Bank. Can you please tell us how much as commission did your company take?
The desire of the people of Ondo State against the rule of conducting election, of course as a lawyer I will challenge it. But if the election were to be conducted freely and fairly, I will concede victory and I will congratulate whoever emerges.
This is the select part of the RSVP, that's Register, Select, Vote, Protect campaign. EiE has co-hosted 14 debates from 2011 till date. Another major milestone is the election monitoring using Revoda.
We're able to show in 2011 and 2015 the app that we have for elections, Revoda, the use of it follows Nigeria's broadband map, which simply means that the people who have access to use it are people who are connected, who have access to the internet.
Developed in 2011 and updated periodically, Revoda was recently used by volunteers in Edo State and Ondo State governorship elections. Osun West senatorial elections, and Lagos local government elections. To ensure that the message of active citizens' participation in governance is top of mind, the hashtag Office of the Citizen radio program was created and launched. It has enjoyed warm reception and is currently in 7 states.
EiE has programs on about 8 stations across the country: Gobe, Kano, Calabar. And the idea is basically taking what we're doing on social media, off social media, and bringing it offline. So 1 hour on those stations, we're a topic every week, and citizens get to call in, ask questions. So we educate and we engage with the radio programs that we have across the country.